Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States, and it's time for another Meet the Flower. Alright you guys, welcome back to another episode of Meet the Flower, and today's Meet the Flower is none other than the lovely Mona Lisa. Oh, I love her so much. This flower, by far, is the flower that I use all the time for anemones. So that's what we're gonna focus on the most, but it also makes a lovely poppy, and she's just gorgeous. She's gorga. If you just put a little bit of yellow in that center and then dye whatever color you want, or just leave the center yellow, you can do yellow and then just a little teeny tiny little pinch of green in the center and you have yourself a poppy. I don't show that. I'm not gonna show that. We have another tutorial all about poppies, so you can check that one out if you'd like. And if I remember, I'll put a link in the description down below. And if not, just comment, hey Stephanie, where's that poppy tutorial? And I'll guide you along the way. So we're gonna focus mostly on anemones for this lovely Mona Lisa, but I cannot wait to see what else you guys create with this. She's just, mwah, chef's kiss. All right, enough of me yammering on how much I love this flower, and let's get to dyeing. That always sounds weird. Let's get to dip dyeing, shall we? Yeah, we'll say that instead. Now the Mona Lisa makes a lovely anemone. So I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to make the anemone kind of flower. We'll go real simple to something a little bit more advanced in terms of the coloring. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can spray this down with some water so it's nice and pliable, fold all of this back, and then dip the palm center in black if you want. I'm gonna go straight in with some black. This is Noir from our paint line. I'm just gonna get a little dab. And then I am going to, let's see, do I wanna water the flower? I don't wanna water the flower down. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in the paint, just a little bit. I'm gonna go in with a bigger brush. We'll find out if that's a mistake or not. And I am going to gently pull this back, and I can do this while it's still dry just from the way that the flower is made, but again, do it gently if you're gonna do it this way and not get it wet. If you get it wet, it's a lot easier to manipulate, but I don't want it to really drip around, so I'm gonna try to do this dry. And I'm pulling my paint over with the water. So let's water down slightly. And then I'm just going to go in, and I'm gonna go slowly because these are going to create some like splatters. Now I'm purposely not going to fill this completely all the way in. Actually, I'm gonna use this one for a different style flower. So I'm not gonna completely fill this all the way in because I want some of the cream to peek through. Like I want that visual like stick kind of vibe. I can't even describe it, but doesn't that look like the center of an anemone or a poppy? So then you would probably let that sit without the petals touching, and then you can set it back, and there you go. But let's hold this to the side for a minute. I'm gonna use this for a different one, but let's get a fully saturated center. So I'm gonna spray this down with just water, nothing more. And see how much easier it is to fold those. You can fold that all the way over. And now you got that. And then I'm gonna use it like a paintbrush. We're just gonna, you also, if you had some watered down black paint, it'll work a lot better. But I don't know if you can see when it's wet, there's some diffusing happening. And now I'm gonna go in a little bit more. This technique's easier if you actually have it watered down, like in a dip dye container type thing, instead of going in with straight paint straight out of the bottle. And I know that we have some other tutorials about poppies. And within those, we really show how to clean up those centers. So there's that. Now my hands are full of other paint, so we're gonna be careful. We're just going to bring it back over, fold it up. And see, now you're gonna have some transfer of paint, but I'm okay with that because I'm like, that is what happens with pollen out of a flower. So here's the two differences, okay? I'm gonna leave this one just as is. We might paint it some more, but I really do like the coloring of the natural Sola wood with that black. It gives me that anemone vibe. So let's set this one aside. I'm going to quickly do another one of these centers. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna dip dye this red real quick. So again, I'm using, the color is Cherry from our paint line. And whenever you're working with paint, you definitely want to, if it's sat for even like 2 minutes, just mix it up again. We're gonna attempt a poppy. These are also really cute if you paint the centers yellow. Okay, so we've got our red going on. And I purposely made my red a little bit of a thinner consistency. It's more water than paint. So it's a little bit softer of a red. You can definitely thicken that up. You can add either black to darken it just slightly, just the smallest tinge of black, or put more paint, less water. We're gonna fold it in with our hands. Now you could let everything dry first if you want, because again, you're gonna have a little bit of transfer of the black onto the red, but pretty happy with that. All right, we're gonna let that one sit, and now we're going to attempt a little bit more of a ambitious, if you will, anemone. All right, so I have this one that we kind of just dusted the center instead of making it completely black. I'm going to grab the color Lilac. And I'm gonna get a paintbrush. I might also use a little bit of the Berry Blast, this purple right here, at the end. I probably will for sure. Okay, so let's see what we're gonna do here. I want to keep around this edge cream. And I want to add purple up further on my petals. I'm gonna go in with straight paint at the moment. I'm gonna focus on my inner ones for right now. We'll do the outer ones in a second. So now I'm gonna take my spray bottle and I'm going to spray in a downward so that the paint goes this way instead of down into the center. We'll see how well that works. I just want to add a slight touch of that purple. So as this is wet, I'm gonna blend that in some more and add a little bit more. And acrylic type paints do dry fairly quickly, so you gotta keep moving. So I think if I was to do this again, this is already drying pretty quickly before I even get to like diffuse it. So I would probably do, I would wet my petal first and then put my paint in. And I know you can't see that one, but I'm getting under there. Just gonna have to trust me on that one. I'm getting that under there. Just kind of rubbing my paintbrush around. So we've got that light purple, and then I want just at the tips a little pop of just a little bit of a brighter color. I am bringing this down just slightly with my fingers, not a ton, but just enough. Okay, so this is where we are at the moment. I've already got a paintbrush in there. Mix that up again. I'm gonna go in a downward motion though again because I'm trying not to get paint in that center, but I want to brighten up those edges just a little bit. Smush that in, and I'm gonna do it one more time because I'm not quite as dark as I want on the edges. kind of want to pull it at the bottom or at the tops of the petals and not have, like, I'm worried about like this little dot right there. I don't want it to go downward. Okay, we're okay there. So we're gonna adjust. It's just about layers sometimes and patience. And if you're silly like me and you make a little mistake, it's all right, just go back in. Buff it out a little bit. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for a second. Shake it a little. There we go. So now we've got a little bit more of a gradient coloring happening. I think this one got a little bit lower than I would have liked, but that's all right. Still looking pretty dang good. All right, you guys, there you have it. The lovely, can't be beat Mona Lisa, who makes a lovely poppy, as well as a gorgeous anemone in so many different ways. This one's a little bit a longer process. There's a lot more like layers that are happening. This is super simple. Boom, bang, bomb, boom, bang, bing, bing, bang, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying. It's magic. It's a quick transformation. There's the word I'm looking for. All right, enough of me yammering. You guys, if you're loving these videos, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell. To find out about the 150 style solo wood flowers, along with craft supplies and greenery, go to ohyourelovely.com. But before you go, grab this too. Use the code YouTube30 to get 30% off your first order. All right, you guys, we will see you next week right here for another Meet the Flower. I'm Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, and you, my friends, are absolutely lovely. Bye, guys.